name is John Cena. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town in West Newbury. And I'm living the dream.
The champ is my time is now. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now.
My name is John Cena. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town in West Newbury.
Your time is up.
And I'm living the dream.
The champ is my time is now. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now.
My name is John Cena. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town in West Newbury.
Your time is up.
And I'm living the dream.
The champ is my time is now. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now.
My name is John Cena. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town in West Newbury.
Your time is up.
And I'm living the dream.
The champ is my
Then now forever. Together.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. For the last couple months, this has been constantly discussed, promoted, anticipated. This night in this city. And after the past calendar year that has seen arenas and stadiums filled, from last January in LA to springtime in Europe, Australia, MSG Beyond, look at this outside Capital One Arena. As we welcome you to the countdown to Saturday night's main event, presented by Cricket. Celebrating a legend, John Cena Everything. It's all things, all-out fan fest on F Street in our nation's capital. Hustle, loyalty, respect, overload. What a scene here, all the way down the entire block outside the arena. And all the greats have come out to honor John Cena. The Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels is inside. He battled Cena at WrestleMania. Now he's here to honor him. The GOAT is making his final preparations.
The GOAT. You hear it so much you forget what it means. Greatest of all time. Is it measured in titles?
champion.
Records?
History has been made.
Or calibrated in time?
What's your name, kid?
John Cena.
Games and matches morph into seasons. Seasons into years. Years into decades. But the GOAT perseveres in a style all his own.
You can't see me.
Every damn night.
Come get some!
Until he's an era unto himself.
I've been face to face with the baddest human beings on the planet.
John Cena made his WWE debut June 27th, 2002.
What is the one quality that you possess? Ruthless aggression.
But what marks the intervening quarter century, and that which made Cena the GOAT, is nothing less than the sacred currency of professional wrestling. That connection. That communion with the crowd. Oh, he sees you. He hears you, feels you, loves you. Every last one.
John Cena is the GOAT! That is the locker room where the GOAT will be a few hours from now. John Cena will emerge from those doors for the last time that the last time is now will play. For Stu the cameraman by his side, for the run to the ring for a match for one last time. And the fans here in Washington, D.C., they don't mind a little cold weather. They have surrounded our set location for hours to take it in, to be part of history. Now, the other side of that history is as serious a challenge as John Cena can face. Gunther, he tore through everybody to earn this career-stamping night. And he has said he's gonna make John Cena give up. Meanwhile, the undisputed WWE champ, Cody Rhodes, has arrived. Rhodes faces the NXT champion, the massive and powerful Oba Femi. That is ahead. Also arriving, Mark Henry, the man who swerved Cena and all of us at his thought to be retirement in 2013. Now ready for Cena's actual retirement match. And can you imagine what tonight means to Paul Triple H Levesque? It has been Triple H guiding us through. This last time is now 2025. Cricket 5G presents Countdown to Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match, as we are here outside Capital One Arena. Joe Tessitore, Big E, and Wade Barrett with you. And we've got early MVPs to this historic night. This crowd right here. I mean, it is awesome. Of course, they are screaming one more match for you.
No, we want to see it. The hair's gone gray. That means I'm out. We've got one guy retiring tonight. Let's keep the focus on the greatest of all time, John Cena.
Big E, it's really tough to put it into perspective. Listen, we've been talking about it for so long of what this night would mean. Little did we know the energy that we would be feeling already.
Look, man, 25 years ago, John Cena, as the prototype, debuted in a dark match in a WWE ring. And tonight is the last time. That is 25 years. This man has given the industry so much. We all have so many stories backstage in the ring with John Cena. And tonight, it's all over.
Yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from John Cena. It's been an incredible career. History is on the line tonight. Everyone's emotional, but there's no time for sentimentality when you have to get in the ring with a career killer named Gunther. Good luck, Cena.
Yeah, of course, you have a shared history with Cena that's very specific to what happened with you. Listen, a few of us have bumped into him earlier today upon his revivals. I think it's very interesting when you look at John Cena. He is relaxed. It is business as usual today.
But that's just how he is. That's always been his mindset. Wade, you can attest to this as well. I don't think anyone has been better prepared for this spot than John Cena. Just that mindset. He is someone who always takes the next challenge. He is never too worried. The moment is never, ever too big for him. It's the same John Cena I saw today backstage that I saw at house shows a decade ago. It's the same mentality. This is the job in front of me, so he is not going to be, there are no issues, no mental things, and no butterflies, none of those things with John Cena here tonight.
I'd agree with you, E. I would say John Cena has always worn stoicism like a suit of armor. However, that suit of armor may find a little crack in it tonight, given the pressure of the situation, given the magnitude of the situation for John Cena personally, which is something he's never faced before.
We have so many special live guests, celebrities, everything here on this countdown to Saturday night's main event. Analysts, we're going to tell you everything, but the team coverage gets underway right now with Jackie Redmond. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Tessa. What can I say about John Cena that hasn't already been said all week long and really over the past year as we celebrate the greatest of all time? But you guys said it, business as usual, and that is John Cena. You know, I was sitting in hair and makeup earlier today. John Cena walks by, says, have a great show. He's telling everybody else, hey, have a great night. Have a good evening. How are you? Even though this entire day, of course, is all about him, and there's legends and superstars walking around. And as you walk around and go through catering, you hear people talking about Cena's career in the ring. Of course, we're celebrating that tonight. But they're also talking mostly about how he's impacted the locker room, how he's impacted wrestling, the things he's done in the community, and how great of a superstar and a role model that he has been for other people. So I think when you hear people and the stories that they're telling, that tells you who John Cena is and how much he has tried his best to give back to wrestling in any way possible. And we've seen that over the last year as well, as he has paid homage to so many different superstars over the past year, whether it be through matches or promos. But of course, there is one last match tonight, and it's against the Ring General, who's hoping he can spoil the party. With more on that, let's check in with Byron Saxton.
Thanks so much, Jackie. As you pointed out, we've talked so much about what this match means to John Cena, but how much does it mean to Gunther? Well, to find the answer to that question, maybe you have to look back to this past Monday night and that countdown clock, you know, the one where Gunther talked about how you only have a couple days left to admire your hero, John Cena. Well, in many ways, that countdown clock goes back to when Gunther was 18 years old, breaking into this business for the first time. Coincidentally, that very same year, John Cena won his first WWE title. But even back then, when Gunther was 18, he didn't love John Cena. He looked at John Cena as a stain on the purity of professional wrestling. So 20 years later, a win for Gunther almost feels like the culmination of a 20-year self-directed prophecy to protect the sanctity of professional wrestling. But if you ask Gunther, in order to protect that sanctity of professional wrestling, tonight in DC, he must make John Cena give up. That's all for me. Let's send things over to Peter Rosenberg for more on the festivities tonight.
Thank you very much, Byron. And you just referenced Washington, D.C., all right? And we talk about how personal this night is to John Cena. But when you see the energy here of my DMV brethren, you understand the John Cena thing, it's not just about John Cena. It really is about all of us. John Cena is what brought me back to professional wrestling 20 years ago. John Cena is what brought so many of these people back to wrestling. So I think as we watch this match tonight and we reflect on the career of John Cena, we also think about how much we love WWE in part because of John Cena. And on a separate note, DC here's to talk about Chicago, about New York. Tess, E, Wade, I think the DMV has something to prove tonight.
Listen, a DC native can say that. This was a bit of a talk about. If you follow the industry, people were saying he's a Boston guy. And then there's MSG. He had his massive Boston moment of winning the IC title. He had his MSG goodbye. DC has proved it already tonight. I mean, this crowd is amazing tonight. Let's get into something that was said by Byron, and that is the mindset of Gunther going into this match, Big E. Gunther has come out and he said the other day, John Cena is the greatest sports entertainer of all time, but I'm the best professional wrestler of all time, and there was a specific emphasis on that comment.
Look, one of the things I love about Gunther is there's a big contrast of styles here. He's not someone who yearns to be a sports entertainer. He's not looking for a catchy catchphrase. He's not looking for the hottest merch. He's not trying to be the biggest merch mover in WWE. Gunther is here to punish. And I love that Gunther's focus is not just on beating John Cena, not just getting that final win, but John Cena's mantra, the vast majority of his career has been about not giving up. He wants to make sure that when John Cena goes out tonight, that he taps out. I think Gunther's focus is unparalleled. Rosenberg made a point to me a little while ago. He's already retired Goldberg. Yep. Is he going to add another massive name onto that list of people he's retired?
John Cena epitomizes everything that Gunther has always hated about this industry. He is the complete antithesis of what Gunther sees as being the traditions and respect of this game. The mat is sacred. That comes from Gunther, and you know for a fact that a guy who enters the ring wearing multicolored shorts, jeans, jorts, whatever you want to call them, doesn't play well in Gunther's mind. Gunther wants to eradicate that from the industry, and like him or not, agree with him or not, it's Gunther's way or the highway in the mind of the ring general.
You know, just listening to you come out of the gate here on this countdown show, I am very much looking forward to your analysis during the John Cena match here tonight.
This is me being polite about John Cena. I've not always been that way, admittedly, but this is John's night.
Hey, by the way, Peter brought up the fact that John Cena is one of these guys that for a certain generation brought you back to pro wrestling. Look at the career accolades and think that this started on June 27, 2002, the 17-time world champion. But I think it's a good point. If you think about the time span, E, that he stretches, if you're in your 30s to mid-40s, this may be the guy that made you a die-hard fan.
And I love that so many of us, I'm 39 years old, so many of us are now connecting to the moments when we were children and we first saw John Cena. I met people in Australia who flew in to the show because they wanted that last piece of their childhood. It feels like for many of us, we're saying goodbye to those years. And that's what I love about John Cena, who has just spanned generations. So many people who have been wrestling fans for 20, 30, 40 years, they've come up watching John Cena. Whether you're a kid now, whether you're an old man, so many of us who love this industry have come up watching this man at the very top of our industry.
Saying goodbye to the GOAT in just a matter of hours as we say hello again to Byron Saxton backstage. Byron.
Thanks so much, Joe. It's only appropriate that here in our nation's capital, I'm joined by the Women's United States Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, Chelsea Green. And Chelsea, anyone who has followed your career knows you've overcome a lot of obstacles. But along that road, you've also received some valuable advice from John Cena. So if you don't mind, could you share how Cena's impacted your career?
So, Brian, as your first, fourth, and final United States Women's Champion and Mixed Triple Tag Team Champion, I don't take advice from just anyone, but I will, however, take advice from the one, the only, John Cena. And John Cena once told me that there is no substitute for hard work. So, I gotta get back to work. Ta-ta.
A prime example of hard work in Chelsea Green. I will now send things over to my colleague, Jackie Redmond.
Byron, thank you so much. I am backstage with the Heartbreak Kid himself, Shawn Michaels. Thank you for the time on such a historic night. You know, you have a front row seat to all of the up-and-coming talent in WWE. How have you seen John Cena impact sort of the next generation?
How has John Cena impacted the next generation? No, I'm just kidding. No, look,
like, what?
No, you see it on display tonight. I will say this: John Cena has always been wonderful with NXT. It's on display here tonight, like I mentioned. But every time I've ever asked him for something, he's always done it. John's never said no to me, so we don't say no to John. And the thing is, it'll come down to work ethic. And I know that's probably been said a lot, but John Cena is the hardest working guy anybody will ever meet, and that's what he passes on to the next generation. And if that is the only thing that John Cena passes on, it'll absolutely be a glorious thing, because when everything is said and done, you put the time, the effort, and the work into it, you're going to get the payoff at the end.
Listen, if it's said by many and all of the time, then it's probably because it's true. You know, in sports, we hear all the time that people are the ultimate pro. Do you think that that applies to John Cena?
Well, look, I'm sure I've been doing this a long time. I've been in this business for 40 years. I've never known a top guy that was popular with absolutely everybody under the sun. So I'm sure there's some detractors out there of John Cena. Unfortunately, I am not one of them. And I am telling you right now, John Cena, in my opinion, is one of the rare good dudes in this line of work. I'm sure there's somebody out there that will have an opinion that is different than mine, but all I know is that John Cena was a good man to me, and therefore John Cena is a good man.
Well, listen, enjoy tonight. It's going to be a heck of a show and a historic one in WWE. Thank you for the time.
My pleasure, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
All right, Tess, back to you.
Thank you, Jackie. The opinion of a Hall of Famer on a future Hall of Famer. This is the Cena Fan Fest outside F Street Northwest, Capital One. Still to come, we're going to be joined by another living legend, the one and only Jesse the Body Ventura. We will hear everything Jesse thinks on this historic night. Oh, he never disappoints with the fit. Jesse the Body is here, DC, plus so many Cena memories through the years. A lasting image, the old school sports jersey. We'll take a closer look at John Cena's signature as we remember so many moments over the incredible 23 years of the GOAT.
Not John Cena.
I am issuing a challenge to anyone in that locker room to come down here and face Kurt Angle. There's got to be somebody that 50 years from now,
Someone may have accepted this challenge.
John is one of those guys that you give him a challenge, he's going to step up to it. And he's not only going to deliver, he's going to hit a home run.
who in the hell are you?
I'm John Cena.
What is the one quality that you possess?
Ruthless aggression. Oh! Is Cena King taking Angle down?
John Cena is really what ruthless aggression was about. You know, it's about guys moving up, about the new era, about the younger guys taking over. That's what the ruthless aggression was. It was high action, it was nonstop, and John rose to the occasion. That night, he earned my respect.
That's all about class. It's all about sportsmanship. Cena gave Angle all he could handle and then some.
John's debut with Kurt Angle is an unforgettable moment. He got The Undertaker welcoming him into the fold.
What's your name, kid?
You could tell when somebody has
John Cena.
it. And Cena got it, man. He was not scared, and he had passion. That goes a long way with me.
Nice job.
John Cena, I have watched you since I was 5 years old, and I'm 26 now. You are really the greatest to ever do it, and I cannot believe that this is finally the end. Thank you for being the GOAT. Thank you for making us never give up.
Let me say something. Cena. I started not liking you, but you helped me realize greatness.
Bye, John Cena. We love you.
I'm from South Korea, and thank you, Cena. I appreciate your passion and love for all of the humankind. Thank you, Cena.
Alors, je tiens à dire un grand merci à John Cena pour tout ce qu'il a accompli. Respect au plus grand catcheur de tous les temps, certainement. Donc, John Cena, merci à toi et, comme on dit en anglais, thank you, Cena.
Thank you, Cena, for what you have done in the WWE.
John Cena, c'est mon héros d'enfance. C'est le plus grand catcheur de la WWE. C'est le GOAT ultime. Il a bercé mon enfance. Et le message qu'il transmet, ça m'a toujours aidé. C'est le meilleur, tout simplement. Voilà, merci John Cena.
You're awesome, John. You're the best. We've loved watching you.
John, you are the most important human being in my life, my childhood hero for life. Such a perfect representation of what a good human being is. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much.
Cena, I love you so much. I came all the way from Singapore to see you, and thank you so much for being a huge part of my childhood. Thank you. Appreciate you.
John Cena, you are the best.
And I just want to say thank you for making me the man that I am today. I grew up my entire childhood watching you, and I will continue to watch you no matter where you go. Thank you again.
Thank you, Cena. Appreciate everything you've done for 25 years in this company. I'm really going to miss you. I'll cry, but I'll also be happy.
Thank you, Cena. You can't see him.
Everybody honoring John Cena here in Washington, D.C. We're back in 2009 in Survivor Series. Cena successfully defended the WWE title against Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a triple threat match main event.
How would I describe John Cena's career? Well, he's the GOAT of all GOATs.
The greatest superstar this business has ever seen.
Congratulations, man. Setting new standards for the industry that nobody's gonna touch, because there's only one John Cena.
I don't think WWE looks anything like it does today without John Cena. Thank you. We will all do everything in our power to leave it better than you leave it.
Sure you want to retire? I think you got a few more years in you.
You can't get out of this, man. We don't let you go. What's the matter with you?
Don't it up, John.
John, thank you for all these years. Thank you for feeding me and my family.
I don't know how to repay the man, and I'm gonna miss him immensely.
I probably wouldn't be where I am today without John Cena. Consider him one of my best friends in the business. John, all I can simply say is thank you. Thanks for the house.
And it all comes full circle. Another legend arriving, Kurt Angle. It was Angle who stood opposite John Cena when Cena arrived on the main roster with the declaration of ruthless aggression. As we bring you back outside to F Street Northwest, countdown to Saturday night's main event. And by the way, there would be no Saturday night's main event in the grand history of this broadcast without the man who's in between us now. Please welcome Jesse the Body Ventura. What are we rocking here? We got the tassels, we got a little Hendrix.
Little Jimi Hendrix. I got my Macho Man Randy Savage beard.
Nice.
I grew this to honor my friend Macho Man Savage, a fellow Hall of Famer. Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's get right into it when it comes to John Cena, because I want some big perspective here. John Cena's influence on the business overall, how would you characterize it?
I would characterize it tops, as high as you can get. Because Cena followed the icon Hulk Hogan for years and years. Then you went through The Rock. Then you went through Stone Cold Steve Austin. And at the turn of the century, arrived John Cena, basically. And John Cena has carried the WWE very much on his shoulders a great deal for the last 20 years. And he needs to be recognized for that. But being Jesse the Body, who always tells it like it is, let me add to this, remember this. If he won the championship 17 times, that means he lost it 17 times. And who would want to brag about that?
The all-time record in the history of WWE. It's worth bragging. Let's get into that conversation in terms of the influence on the business, because you can measure greatness, Big E, in so many ways when we have the Mount Rushmore. At the end of the day, the promotional business is about putting asses in the seats and eyeballs to the TV.
Absolutely, and definitely during this era, I don't think anyone has done it better than John Cena. Does he make your Mount Rushmore, Jess?
I would say yes. Yes.
Who else fills out your Mount Rushmore now that we're here?
Well, as much as it peels from my lips, Hogan, irregardless, you can't run from it. You can't run from it. I would say The Rock belongs in there. I would say Stone Cold belongs in there.
Is that your four?
That's your four?
Stone Cold, Rock, Hogan, and Cena. Is that your Mount Rushmore?
And then of course sitting atop Rock Rushmore would be Jesse the Body Ventura.
Naturally, of course.
We're getting out the chisel
because let me state my case. Cena has not run and won governor yet.
All right, hey, Wade, let's tell everybody.
But I say yet.
Yeah.
He
Wade,
might.
Let's tell everybody beyond what we have for our main event, what they're going to see in the matches that you and Michael Cole are going to call.
Well, we got ourselves a showcase for NXT talent who are the future of this industry. This was insisted upon by John Cena himself. So our tag champs, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, are going to be taking on the high-flying 21-year-old duo, Javon Evans and TNA X Division champion, Leon Slater. Not only that, the great Bayley, the role model herself, is going to be testing out one of the most hyped individuals in NXT, the incredible Sol Ruka. You have to check her out. And then Cody Rhodes, QB1, the face of the franchise, goes head-to-head with perhaps the face of the future, the massively powerful NXT champ, Oba Femi.
What a huge opportunity for the NXT stars to have Cena ask for them to be on this show. Here's their reaction.
To be on John Cena's final show is incredible. I am so honored to be a part of history.
It's an honor, bro. It's a blessing. And I grew up watching Cena.
He always said he wanted to leave this place better than he found it. And I believe strongly that he has done that. He has left it better for people like me to step in. So John, very important to me.
WrestleMania is huge, SummerSlam is huge, Survivor Series is huge, but they come around every year. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. There's only one John Cena's last show, and I take huge personal pride in having a spot on this card.
John Cena means so much to the WWE. He's an inspiration. He is the GOAT. No matter if you're a wrestling fan or not, everyone knows who John Cena is.
John deserves his farewell, his big celebration, and I wish him the best.
Mr. Cena, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you've done for me, for WWE, for little Javon. Like, hey, you did your thing. I'm about to show out for OG, you know what I mean?
Backstage with NXT champion Oba Femi. First off, congratulations on tonight. We just heard you talking about what it means to be a part of all of this, but now you're actually here living in the moment. What does it feel like, man?
For a very long time, I was a big fish in a small pond. I performed on the biggest stage of NXT, 16,000 people, but tonight is different because tonight is an even bigger stage due to the fact that it's John Cena's very last match. And I think it's symbolic that John's end is my beginning. And the man standing across the ring from me tonight is Cody Rhodes. And Cody thinks that the future is this distant thing and this thing that is yet to come. But that's where I disagree, because I think the future has arrived. So just like I said last night, in the spirit of hustle, loyalty, and respect, Cody, your time is up, and my time is now.
All right, well, thank you for the time and good luck tonight. Let's check in with Sam and Megan.
Thanks, Jackie. We're here with Leon Slater and Javon Evans. Guys, we know how much John Cena has meant to you throughout his career. We know what a big deal tonight's match is for you. But when you wake up this morning, when you get to this building, when you realize this is real and this is now, what is going on in your brains and in your gut?
A lot's going on in my brain, a lot's going on in my gut, but I'm gonna give you a little play-by-play today. I woke up, I can't lie, I was nervous as hell. I got to the building, I can't lie, I was nervous as hell, but then I seen my boy, I seen the ring, and I'm excited. We're gonna make some history tonight, and we're gonna show the WWE Universe exactly who Javon Evans and Leon Slater is, you get me?
No, that's real. I mean, I woke up this morning, I was nervous as hell. I got my rental, nervous as hell. Showed to the ring, I was nervous as hell, but I saw my boy in the ring, and I was still nervous as hell. But nah, man, we're blessed, and we're ready for this opportunity, for sure. Yes, we're excited.
Yes, sir.
You can't overstate the magnitude of this moment tonight, but does it get elevated at all by the fact that you will be standing across the ring from AJ Styles and Dragon Lee?
Of course, you know, this is a tag team that is on top of the tag team division. Like, they're the champs, you know, but I feel like tonight is an opportunity to where we can prove that we can hang with the big dogs. Most def.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what we're going to do, bro. We're going to hang with them big dogs. Dragon Lee is one of the best in the world right now. And as a TNA talent myself, I cannot wait to step in the ring with the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
It's one of those words that's getting thrown around a lot tonight. Opportunity. I can't wait for it, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, and that great Slater accent from north of Manchester, not far away from Preston North. And I see you're rocking the hoodie there tonight, Wade Barrett. All right, let's get into the discussion. They talk about their nerves when they get a spotlight opportunity like this. John Cena giving these young NXT superstars, Jesse, a huge opportunity to build on their future.
Well, it's huge for them because this is a mega day. This is a huge day in the WWE. John Cena's retiring. He will be no more. Now, I would say this. I think John Cena's crazy. Now let's look this in perspective. He's lucky in one aspect because he's choosing his time to retire. He's making that choice. Some of us didn't get that choice of when to retire. Cena gets that opportunity, but the point I'm going to make, why would you want to retire with Gunther? He would be the last person I would want to have as my last match. This guy is a destroyer. Look what he did to Goldberg.
He retired him too.
You know, and you want I think Cena's crazy for ending up with Gunther as his final match.
I've got to agree with you, Jesse. He said he wanted to fight the very best. Those words are easy when they come out of your mouth, but then when you're faced with reality, like John Cena will be tonight against the Ring General, he may come to regret those words.
You know, in our business, there are certain assignments you get as a broadcaster that you think about years in advance, and then they creep up on you for months and months. Even if you've called every big moment there is to call in this industry, tonight, Michael Cole has that assignment that he's been thinking about for years and years and months and months. Good evening, Michael.
Hey, Joe, thank you. And I'm actually in the entranceway where in just a few hours from now, the greatest of all time, John Cena, will make his final entrance as he heads to the ring for the final match of his career. And I'm also very excited tonight because the person running camera for me for this shot right now is none other than Stu, the world famous Stu, who of course has made a name for himself by following John Cena in his entrances throughout the years. I am so excited, I am so honored, I'm so privileged to be able to sit at ringside tonight with my great friend Wade Barrett and call all the action of John Cena's final match. More on that as the countdown show rolls on. One word comes to mind when you think of John Cena, and to me that word is success. John Cena's been successful not only in the ring as a 17-time world champion, he's been successful, of course, in Hollywood. He's a successful businessman, and he's a successful philanthropist. Just imagine the hundreds and hundreds of kids who's had their life changed as part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Success was a key word in the interview when John sat down with award-winning reporter Tom Rinaldi.
What is success as you define it?
To me, success is simply just fulfillment that you did the best with life. And however that's going to be different for anyone. I know what my lane is. I use the term earn the sunset a lot.
It's been a day. Yeah, we're all right, that's good. I like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just hectic. That feels good. Pretty much what I'm going on and saying right now. Yeah.
So I think me trying to earn the sunset, there's a whole lot of D- days. There's some D+ days, there's some C- days, there's a lot of B days, there's very, very few A+ days. But when you get an A+, it means something, and it sets a standard, and maybe you're like, oh man, maybe I can try to push a little further than that.
What would an A+ day be for you, John?
Those moments where you're filled with the euphoria that is life.
How you doing? So nice. Can I have a hug? Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for coming by our neck of the woods, man. I appreciate it. Smell this good on stage? Look at that, right on.
It's like indescribable. That's the best way I can describe it. That lasting for 24 hours. And gosh, like my wedding is a day that I can say like A+ day. But that also came with tremendous preparation. So I think success to me is just earning the sunset, feeling fulfilled, being gracious enough to grade yourself, where a failure is a 59 and down.
You know, this whole interview with the great Tom Rinaldi can be seen on WWE's YouTube channel right now. So much more to talk about as it comes to John Cena. I'll be back in just a little bit.
Look forward to that, Michael Cole. Looking forward to that indeed. But guess who's joining us next here on the countdown to Saturday night's main event? We told you many guests, and here's one of the great ones. Sami Zayn!
Welcome aboard, mate.
Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for having me. DC, what's
Of course,
up?
it all began with John Cena for
Awesome
Sami
fans.
Zayn, and we will get his thoughts on this amazing evening. How about this crowd, huh? How about this
Amazing.
crowd? Take a
DC,
seat,
underrated
Sami.
crowd, man. Sneaky, great crowd. Nobody mentions them. You guys were talking about that.
Plus,
no one mentions DC.
coming
one
up,
of the great crowd.
we will have the game, the cerebral assassin, Triple H
Hey,
will be with us
how
to
are we
reflect
gonna
on all
know
the
that? You
years
said
with John Cena as the countdown to
I'll show off
Saturday
my
night's main
personality.
event rolls on. Of course, John Cena has so many catchphrases, but it's those 4 invisible words that may be the most unique in all of sports.
You can't see me.
I remember way back then we used to hang.
You can't see me.
You can't see me.
You can't see me.
It's not just the words, it's the hand gesture.
You're seeing pro athletes doing You Can't See Me, and you're seeing it in major sports across the board. This is undeniable.
It's one of those things that just takes on a life of its own.
I don't know what that's from. You can't see me.
My theme music is on. My younger brother, Sean, just did this dance that Tony Yayo did, moving his head around his hand. He said, I'm getting that on TV. It just overcame the meme culture.
As far as like cultural impact, it just shows how powerful he was.
He now is a pop culture sensation.
He transcended wrestling.
You can't see me.
Oh, look at this crowd. We got thousands of them doing it. You know what we can see? An amazing night ahead. They're going to be headed inside Capital One Arena in a little bit to witness history. But right now, the party continues on with Cena Fan Fest outside Capital One Arena. Don't go anywhere. We got Sami Zayn next.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. Never give up. If you want some, come get some. Now, Denise is a rabid WWE fan, just like the rest of y'all up in here tonight. That's the truth. But what makes Denise special, what makes Denise a true champion, is the fact that she has survived open heart surgery and is recovering very, very well. I promised Denise something special for her WWE event tonight, something that nobody else in the crowd could ever imagine to experience. Denise, from the WWE champion to a true champion. I need you to take this hand off and just one time hold this championship high and let everybody know that you're a true soldier. Ladies and gentlemen, in case y'all didn't know, that is what it's all about. Denise, I love you. Keep getting healthy. Anaheim loves you. The WWE loves you. Everybody, a true champion in the house tonight. Show some West Coast love for my homegirl, Denise.
Oh, you all love Juan Cena?
Back here in Washington, D.C., it's hosted 7 major premium live events through the years, but in so many ways, tonight's WWE event feels much more than any of those. The last time is now in our nation's capital for one of the most patriotic, salute the troops-loving superstars ever. And ahead of Saturday night's main event, WWE superstars visited the National Institutes of Health Children's Inn. They were there to meet kids and families during this holiday season. Superstars spent time with everyone, gave out WWE toys, and spread joy right here in Washington, D.C. It has been incredible for so many of us to be on the road with John Cena this entire year, and the crowd chorus of gratitude that has followed. Everywhere we've gone, we've heard, "Thank you, Cena."
Let's go to work.
Here we go, Stu.
I'm gonna shoot for you.
My childhood hero, John Cena.
I think we all feel compelled for one last time to thank you, Cena. Sammy, your history with John Cena, listen, you go back to your debut in 2015 and then the full circle moment this September at the U.S. title match. This has to be an incredible night of reflection for you.
Oh, man, I'm really emotional, actually.
You know, I don't know if you could relate to this, but the older I get, just the more emotional I get. And I'm even watching this package about him, and I'm like, oh my God, it's really hitting me. And I saw this package, because, you know, all day, I'm thinking about exactly what you mentioned. I'm thinking about my debut, and I'm thinking about getting to wrestle him one last time in Chicago on his way out, and how much that meant to me. But then I saw this video, and you might have even showed it earlier in the show, but I saw it on Instagram or something earlier this week, where it was the fans
Yes, the
had
fans.
the floor
Right.
to talk about what he meant to them.
Yeah, we set up the microphone throughout the
Dude,
year.
I
Everybody
was
had their
bawling
chance.
my eyes out.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you forget sometimes, like, we get bogged down in this. We talked about this. Sometimes you get bogged down in the day-to-day or the, you know, where you are and what you're doing with yourself and all that. And sometimes you don't always get a chance to really hear what you meant to the fans, especially someone like John Cena, who's been at the forefront of all this stuff for 2 decades. Like, what he meant to these people. And, you know, they're going to tell you tonight.
Yes, they
They're
are.
going to tell you tonight.
Yep.
Exactly what he meant to them. You know, you hear people say, like, you know, I didn't have a father around raising me, and I grew up in this kind of house, or I was bad at school, and I had this, I had that. It's like some serious, like some pretty heavy stuff. And then you just hear how Cena and this, how it impacts people. I don't know, I just found it very profound. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of looking at this whole final night for Cena in a different lens today. I think I was looking about it so much about how much it meant to me, what he meant to the company, what he meant to this generation, our generation of guys who were on the road, and he was mentoring us. And I kept thinking about it through that lens. But today, as I'm walking around Washington, and I'm at the Smithsonian, and I'm getting stopped left and right by people in Cena shirts, and seeing how Cena took over this city tonight, I'm really looking at it through a new lens now of what he meant to, like, everyone, to every one of these people. You know what I mean? I think that's super special.
No, it absolutely is. You know, there's so many times when I think about the industry, I think about our business really as it's the house shows. It's the times we bonded. And we had so many of those shows over the years where we were backstage having a blast with Cena, with everyone. Do you have any favorite stories or memories? I think about so many times we were just even peeking around the curtain, or the times, what was it, Hackensack with just kicking around with Cena. There's some of those moments where we just get to be kids together. Do you have any of those shared moments with Cena that stand out to you?
Well, I do feel privileged in that here's one thing this current crop, this generation won't get. They don't get those live events. They don't get to sit on the bus with Cena on those European tours, or you know, have him sitting at the front of that monitor and pick his brain about. And sometimes it wasn't even picking his brain about, like, hey, did you watch my match? Do you have any advice? It was just like when you hung out and you're eating catering and all that stuff after the show, it just kind of bleeds out, you know what I mean? Like, it just pours out. It wasn't a formal thing like, come sit, young Padawan.
Right.
I'll teach you a thing or two about the business. It's like you're joking, you're laughing, and you all love the same thing. And in that, first of all, those relationships, like you said, it's just so special. But yeah, you get a lot of wisdom. I don't have a particular thing.
We told you there's going to be some surprise guests. Hey, Sammy, I think we all should move over because Triple H, Paul Levesque, the Chief Content Officer, has arrived just in time. How about this crowd tonight? I mean, look at this. Paul, let's get you in here and continue the conversation. You know, we're all sitting here talking about the emotional reaction for the fans. We just had the big thank you, Cena. Paul, we knew it was going to be an emotional night. Then you come here and arrive, and you start to take it all in, and you start to experience this. For so many of us that have been on this set now for the better part of the past hour, it's even more than we expected it to be.
Yeah, it's incredible. I got here yesterday in the morning, and to travel around, DC and actually be able to see the reaction of people, see people that have flown in just to be here for this. You know,
it's an emotional thing, and I heard you out here talking about it. You know, John's one of those unique people that I think people got to see through the character, see the persona that he presented on TV, to get to see a piece of the real John Cena. And what you guys were talking about was everyday John Cena. You know, everyday John Cena on that bus, in the cars. You know, that's who you guys got to know, and that's a special human being. I think they got to see a percentage of that John Cena. I wish everybody could see the true human being. You see it in those moments where he's with a Make-A-Wish kid. You see it in those moments where he's individual with fans. But as wonderful as John Cena, the television performer, is, the human being is even a better person. Yeah.
Paul, this week I heard something that you said, and I thought it was incredibly well stated. And summing up Cena and the relationship, you said the sacred currency of the connection to the fans. He captured that sacred currency for 23 and a half years right to the goal line here, right to the final yard of what he's accomplishing.
Yeah, that's an incredible thing for John. Very few people can actually sort of live the pulse of the crowd, right? Like feel that so much beyond just like, oh, I hear them do this, let's do that. It's inside of them. It flows through John. And that sounds like this mystical thing, but he really can. There's so many times where I see him do stuff, whether it's a promo, whether it's just an interaction with somebody. I don't know, they call that an empath, that can feel other people's emotions and get that out of themselves. But he really has that, like, in an extraordinary way that I've not seen very many people be able to have that. And that's why his connection with people is so strong. When John talks to you, he's not talking to you, he's listening to you, and he's feeling what you're feeling. And I don't know, he just has this incredible connection, not only with fans, but just with people. And that's what makes him such a wonderful human being.
I think that one of John's greatest contributions is the way he passes the torch, the way he's always trying to highlight the next generation. Tonight easily could have been a 2-hour card simply about John Cena and about his retirement, but yet he pushed for the NXT talent tonight. Can you just speak to what we're going to see for people who are tuning in, who are just here to see John Cena and his retirement match? What are they going to see when they see a Sol Ruca, when they see a Javon Evans, when they see Leon Slater, when they see Obafemi? What are they going to see tonight?
You're going to see a future that is taking place right now. And that's really what John Cena is about, right? John's desire to leave this place better than he found it. His desire to give people the opportunities that he received and then knocked out of the park, right? Like he was there to take the pitch, but then did all the work to get it there. He just wants to see that for others. And part of him leaving it better than he found it is what you're going to watch tonight. It's, 21-year-old Javon Evans. It's 21-year-old Leon. It's 24, I believe, Sol Ruca. It's 26-year-old Obafemi. It's people that are just sort of cracking the surface of a moment in time that 20 years from now, we're going to be watching, you know, in a place like this, the Obafemi final match in retirement, and knowing that John Cena is the one that set the table for him.
Well, the crazy thing is, he did that for us.
Right.
Like,
100%.
when we were breaking out of NXT, he was still like putting the spotlight on us, and it's crazy now. It's 10, 15 years later, and he's still doing that.
That's the magic of this business, right? That is, and it takes people time to figure that out. Some never do, but like to me, the people that are the most successful and the most fulfilled when they leave this business are the people that thought about it from others' points of view and how they could give back to those people. I just said this to somebody today standing in the ring. We're in a fortunate place in time where we have an upper deck of talent that are all, they've been here a long time, they have a lot of experience, and there's this group of talent that are just coming up. That group at the top is more so than I've ever seen in any generation before this, willing to reach down and pick those kids up, bring them up to the top with them, you know, put their own equity into those others and see them succeed. It's not about them. It's not about, well, I don't know what that does for me, or I don't know how that benefits me. It's actually about, hey, how can I bring those others up around me? They're not afraid of losing their spot. It's this really wonderful time in the business, and I can't wait, because I think you saw it last night in SmackDown. I think you're going to see it in full glory tonight, and it's not just about these few talent that are getting this opportunity tonight. It's about all the others that are around them. A performance center full of young talent chomping at the bit to get that opportunity, and it's going to start tonight. And I think tonight is the launching point of something feeling new, fresh, and young, sort of permeating every level of our business.
You know, Paul, you mentioned launching points. I can remember we're all sitting there at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California on January 6th last year when John comes out and addresses everybody, and the path to winning the 17th World Championship was underway. We didn't know where any of this was going to go. Maybe you did a little bit. We didn't know, but maybe But it's been an incredible journey. There have been memorable moments. There have been some surprises. And now here we get the final chapter tonight. You're in the unique position with a lot of work left to go. Sammy, you're going to stick around. We can't thank you enough for sharing a little bit of time, even on a night as big as this.
One, thank you for having me here. I've been feeling this all day long. As everybody is working so hard on this show, I'm just incredibly honored to be here tonight to witness this for John. It's such a special night for him, for everybody else. It's just it's an honor to be here and to be a part of it. I wanted to come out here and just express that. I can't wait to see this all go down, and I'm so happy for John that he gets to call his shot. He gets to call his way out, and this is going to be a special night.
You know, a lot of times in art, the artist mirrors the subject. The subject we're dealing with tonight is filled with gratitude. That's who he is, humility and gratitude, and I think we all reflect that tonight. Paul Triple H Levesque, give him a big hand here. As we continue on here, the countdown to Saturday night's main event. So many celebrities wishing John Cena well and congratulating him on the last time being now.
It is the end of an era. Cannot believe our friend John Cena is about to wrestle in his final WWE match.
John, you can't see us, but we can see you.
It has been so inspiring to see what you've done, from the doctor of thugonomics to ultimately the greatest of all time.
An absolutely incredible career. You work so hard and you do it with integrity.
You inspired so many people. You won a ton of championships. Almost impressive enough for me to forget the fact that you're a diehard Patriots fan. But hey, I guess no one's perfect, including the 07 Patriots.
John Cena, it's your boy Big Snoop Dogg. You know what it is. Congratulations, loved one. I'm gonna smoke one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna blow one for the pole one.
I gotta warn you, when you enter the grocery store or step into your garage, there's no entrance music at all in retirement unless you play it yourself on your AirPods. So, that's a free tip from me to you. Congrats again, pal.
Congratulations, John, on an amazing career. What you've done for the sport and for WWE is just insane. You're a legend. Congratulations.
And how about some Stratusfaction? One of those nights when you'll see everyone wanting to say they were there. Trish Stratus has come to Washington.
This holiday season, go big. And then go home.
Have a safe trip home.
The best advice he's ever given me. That's easy.
Snickers presents the best advice John Cena ever gave me. Hungry? Grab a Snickers.
I feel like John's probably given me advice. I'm not the guy that really listens to people, though.
Best advice that John Cena has given me: don't wait to do what you want to do or say what you want to say. Do it then, do it now if given the opportunity.
Stick to your guns. Be yourself. stay true to yourself.
Best advice he's ever given me. That's easy. The best advice John Cena has ever given to me, and he's given it to numerous talent, and it sounds redundant, but it's really not. Listen to the audience. Listen to the audience. And if you do, you'll never go wrong.
He said, one hill at a time, one mountain at a time. Climb and cross one at a time. There's so many things we try to do that we're like an octopus trying to handle so many things at once in life, and we overcomplicate things one at a time.
But the best one I would say, and it took a while for this to click with me, is you should be able to sum up who you are in one sentence. A lot of people just don't know who they are. You can see it in their eyes, and it takes a while to click on. He can sum it up in one word, Superman. Now I can sum it up in one word, Justified.
So just this past SummerSlam, I had a match, and it wasn't my favorite match, and I didn't love the match. And I came back, and I was downtrodden, and I was upset. And he was like, hey, you good? You physically fine? I said, yeah. He's like, she physically fine? I said, yeah. He's like, did the crowd react? I said, yeah. He said, well, then what's the problem? And I said, it just wasn't my best. And he said, well, you get to do it tomorrow. And I think that kind of simple advice of, nothing is ever permanent in this business. And we can go and one match, one promo, everything can turn everything around. And then the next night I went out, I had a pretty damn good promo, if I do say so myself. I may have name dropped him in that promo, and he texted me and he said, see, can all turn around in one night.
56 minutes away from the last time being now. John Cena's final match here in Washington, D.C. History will be made. Let's say hello again to Peter Rosenberg.
Tess, thank you so much. Here with my fellow DMV people. And look at all the incredible merch behind me. I just bought some. We'll get to that in a second. And when you think of John Cena, you think about all the merchandise, the hats, the t-shirts. But long before he was a merch king of WWE, he was a fashion icon. Before Jay-Z said throwbacks were dead, John Cena had the Mitchell & Ness throwback hot every single week.
Being the Doctor of Thugonomics character, I switched up my perspective on not to wear boots and tights because I learned from my failures. I had a bunch of boots and tights, but I also looked like everyone else. And then I kind of settled on the throwbacks.
I'll throw you back like my jersey.
It was great because I could wear the city's biggest rival when I was supposed to be booed.
Hell, I beat Brock like the Mets beat the Red Sox.
And then when the crowd began to turn, I could wear the city's biggest hero.
I'm repping Ohio State, giving competition Buckeyes.
Trying to do everything you possibly can to create interest and excitement. And if for nothing else, people wanted to see what sports legend I would wear out to the ring. I can tell you I'm super excited for our Survivor Series because we have the throwback San Diego uniform. New York is certainly an homage to New York, so you gotta keep it classy. And the last one in DC is kind of a general homage to the journey. So it's a lot more. What's on the uniform is far more meaningful than the display of the uniform. It's such a full circle moment for me where, yes, I wore jerseys and I'm kind of wearing jerseys at the end, but even before that, I wore home colors in 2002, and here we are in 2025. And that's how I'm ending the story, exactly how I started. It's that little Easter egg that nobody might get, but it's important to me. I'm like, man, this is kind of how you gained a little bit of relevance, and it's you're using it as a tool to say goodbye, so it's pretty special.
And as John just said, the jersey thing for John Cena continues all the way up till the last stop here in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at some of the jerseys. We got the Washington Wizards 25 representing 25 years for John Cena. The Capitals 17-time champion jersey. And this one's for sale. The last time is now ever John Cena jersey. His college number 54. It goes all the way till the end tonight. What a cool opportunity to do that and celebrate with John Cena. Oh, and speaking of someone here to celebrate, Byron Saxton is with Trish Stratus.
You know, it felt like we needed a little Stratusfaction here tonight, and voila. WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus decked out in the John Cena gear, which I appreciate. But Trish, I feel like you have a very unique perspective on John Cena's retirement tour because you've done something similar. You've come back several times. You've competed at a very high level against various WWE superstars. In your opinion, how hard has it been for John to do what he's done over the last year?
You know, I can't speak for John, but, you know, he's done it for the entire year. I, you know, sprinkled in a few times throughout the year, so there's a bit of a difference. But, you know, it's just kind of like how he rolls. It's how he is, that's how he's built, you know, is to run like that at that level. John Cena is a once-in-a-generation superstar, and I don't think in our lifetime we'll ever see anyone like that again. Just, you know, he comes back, and it's, to say he's mastered the art of the comeback is a bit of an understatement. You know, he comes back, he satiates the fans with his presence for sure, but the choices he makes ensures his legacy, but also the longevity of the business, which I think is what makes his comeback so impactful.
Well, Trish, we appreciate your presence here tonight, and please enjoy the festivities tonight.
All right, guys, let's get into the match a little bit here. John Cena and Gunther, and Sammy, I'll start with you. We heard Gunther say that he promises to drop Cena on his head, to wrap his arms around his neck until all the hustle, loyalty, and respect has left his body.
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want me to say to that?
You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly capable of that. I mean, I felt it firsthand. I've felt it with him in the ring many times. Anyone who's watched Gunther knows he's very capable. I actually, look, I mean, there was a whole tournament to see who's going to be John Cena's last opponent. Yep. I know a lot of fans had a lot of opinions of who they personally would have wanted to see. My personal opinion is I think Gunther could not be a more perfect, there could not be a more perfect opponent for John Cena in his final.
How so? Why?
Than Gunther. I think he's perfect. I think he's the perfect foil. He's everything John Cena's not. He's detached. He's unemotional. He's you know, and John Cena's pure just heart and soul, and he's pure grit. I think it just writes itself. And that's not even to speak of the in-ring foil, the in-ring dynamic and contrast. And Gunther, say whatever you want about him in the ring. I don't know if I'd go so far as say he's the best. If he's not the best, he's top 3. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, I mean, man, who else? It's perfect. He's a perfect opponent. It's going to be a very emotional night. Cena's going to feed off that emotion, and Gunther feeds off snuffing out that emotion. It's perfect.
I just think so typically in these spots, you think of retirement tours, retirement matches. You think of them as exhibitions in many ways. You think it's very friendly. We're all here. We're gonna have a good time. This is not going to be a good time for John Cena
Gunther's the opposite of that in every respect.
He's
you want to have a good time. I'm here to ruin your good time.
That's exactly what he does.
And he enjoys it. He really genuinely enjoys it.
He revels in it. Look, this is going to be John Cena's most physical match this year, his most violent match. We haven't seen John Cena with a crimson mask in quite some time. I would not be shocked if we see that tonight. I think it could very well be a very bloody affair, but this is going to push Cena. This is going to test him in ways that I don't think he's ever been tested before. I have never been in the ring with Gunther, but I have seen his destruction. You felt it.
He's unbelievable.
There's no one like him. He is a marauder. He is someone who is going to try to run through John Cena and prove a point. Winning is not enough, and that's why in many ways, I fear for Cena a little bit here because winning is not the goal for Gunther. That is not the end game for him.
Yeah, but to be fair to Cena, countless people have tried to be the ones to tap him. Countless people have been the ones who say, I'm going to break you, I'm going to break your spirit.
But if anyone can, is it not Gunther? If anyone can, it's that man.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but I just don't. I don't know, man. I agree.
That's what makes it so fascinating.
That's what makes it so fascinating.
Sammy, great job up here, my man.
Thanks so much, man.
What a nice visit. Give it up for Sami Zayn.
Hey, thanks for
as we go backstage to
Thank
Sam and Megan. Sam and Megan, take it away.
Love you, man.
We are backstage here with Sol Ruca, and Sol, a couple weeks ago on NXT, you recognize that you've heard the chatter, but it's time that you start believing that you are world championship caliber. Heading into your match tonight against Bayley, do you believe it?
Honestly, yes, I do. I mean, the past few weeks have really opened my eyes. John Cena handpicked me to be in the Iron Survivor match, and my match tonight with Bayley against someone who is a role model. I mean, I think this is just my time to show that I belong here and that I can do this.
When you talk about your time and you talk about your opponent being Bayley and you talk about the fact that this is John Cena's final match,
Have you thought about what tonight is going to mean for your legacy in the future?
I definitely have. However, I like to just live in the moment and try and focus on one day at a time, one match at a time. And tonight I'm just focused on Bayley and just putting it all out there.
Sol, best of luck to you tonight. And guys, we'll send it back to you on the panel.
Y'all witness right here. Y'all, we're gonna do this for John Cena, okay? Y'all ready? People over there, what's up? If you love John Cena, say what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is John Cena's farewell tour. John said he loves us, we love you more. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? June 25th, 2002. Ruthless aggression, Thugs and Monkey attitude. Word life, showed us all. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up. He said if you ever fall down, get back up. You can't see me, I see you now. And if you see tears, know that I'm proud. John, I salute you, standing at attention. Saturday night's main event, farewell edition. If this is it, your farewell tour, all your dedication made us love you more. People over there, what's up? If you love my brother, say what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is John Cena's farewell tour. All your dedication made us love you more. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? People over there, what's up? If you love John Cena, say what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is John Cena's farewell tour. We know
Only
that
R-Truth can pull that off in front of thousands of fans here outside Capital One Arena. The countdown to Saturday night's main event. R-Truth delivering with the bespoke lyrics. Get up here, Ronnie. R-Truth, come on up here to the set. That is awesome stuff by R-Truth.
One of a kind, man.
Did you have those lyrics?
One of a kind. Look, he remixed it for this event only, man.
I witnessed him beforehand, practicing, going over, really wanted to get that right. And you know, Truth really cares about music. It's a big deal to come up with an original song like that and do it live. Very cool, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. R-Truth's going to make his way up to the set here. Listen, speaking of music, the influence of John Cena.
Well, I've been excited. I've been waiting all week for us to have this conversation because I really think you can't talk about John Cena's legacy without talking about the music. Now, he had the look, he had the tools, but I think there's a great chance that if John Cena doesn't start rapping, we are not sitting here celebrating him 20 years later.
No, absolutely. Stephanie's going to have the conversation talking about the bus and learning that John Cena could rap and how that kicked everything off. This man has a platinum album. Like, a platinum album as the greatest to ever do it. It's truly incredible
Here
run.
comes Ronnie.
His impact with hip-hop and whatnot.
That
we
was
got
awesome.
R-Truth finally.
That was awesome. Take a seat, R-Truth.
Welcome, Ronnie.
Big O E!
We don't need to do this right now.
Peter, continue that conversation with
this is perfect to bring Truth into. So one of the coolest things you have to understand about John Cena, and I didn't quite realize this till recently, I found an old interview I did with him like 15 years ago where we talked a lot about his rap career. John started rapping like a few months before the whole thing blew up. He hadn't been doing it his whole life. He kind of messed around and then took it seriously. And then he met a rapper by the name of Freddie Fox, AKA Bumpy Knuckles, a super underground rapper, right? And Freddie really respected John's effort level and they started working together. I reached out to Bumpy Knuckles.
Did you really?
I did. I hit up Bumpy Knuckles and I said, what was it about John Cena? And he said he was impressed with his confidence, first of all, to have been rapping so little, but taking it so seriously. He also said they became friends when they started to exchange cultures. He brought Bumpy Knuckles to West Newbury, Massachusetts. Freddie Fox brought John Cena to the street. All right?
That's big.
They really did that. And then the last thing he said, I said, what about how did he handle the business of it all? And Bumpy, never one to be a dishonest man, said, WWE had no idea why he was bringing in this underground rapper, what I could do to help him out. John Cena went to him, took care of him himself, and said, I'm gonna make sure I do right by you Freddie Fox appeared on 3 songs on the album. The rest is history. Platinum album, Bad Man, Word Life, Basic Thugonomics,
The Merge
Time
Hustle
Is Now,
remix.
The Merge Hustle remix.
Bro, and I heard, speaking of, I heard y'all got a track together. An unreleased track. Are we gonna hear this track?
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I promise him we will never.
Is today gonna be the day when you finally tell the story of how you and John got into that famous fist fight in the airport way back in the day?
Hey, matter of fact, that was nothing but hogwash. Hogwash means a lie.
Never happened.
It never happened.
Because the rumor was there was beef when Truth was Ron Killings in TNA and John blew up in WWE.
Yes.
The rumor was there was beef over rapping wrestlers.
Yes.
But
And
you
we
never
was fighting.
actually fought.
We saw each other in the airport and it was like, hi. And that was it. Hey, Conan, K-Dog, he the one, he said, people was asking me, hey, I heard you and John Cena saw each other. What happened? And I was like, nothing, and Conan was like, bro, that sounds boring. it's boring, bro. You see how he left sad. You have to give him excitement. So the next person said, hey, I heard you saw Cena in the airport. What happened? And I'm like, nothing, bro. We just said hi. But you didn't tell him when you and Cena started fighting, though. And it went from there.
And it hit the internet.
Truth,
yes.
You feeling the energy out there?
The energy is there. Do y'all love John Cena? You see that?
Thank you for sharing that with
That
us.
was awesome,
that was
man.
Awesome.
That was really cool that you did that for John. That was really neat.
Bro, I had to, man. He's done so much for us, everybody, not just inside the locker room, but outside, dog. So this is his day. This is your day, dog.
And we're glad you're sharing it with us.
Appreciate
our
it.
truth. It is so rare that a broadcaster becomes forever linked to a superstar newsmaker. Listen, Muhammad Ali had Howard Cosell, and for a generation plus now, John Cena has had Michael Cole. And on a night when Michael Cole will call John Cena's final match, Michael Cole offers his thoughts.
For Gordon Soley, the legendary wrestling commentator, it was the American dream.
Dusty Rhodes has just become the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
For my predecessor, Jim Ross, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The Austin era has begun!
For me, it was the greatest of all time.
John Cena is the GOAT!
Wrestlers who dominated their generation, allowing us the honor of providing the soundtracks for our generation. There are 3 words which have defined Cena's career, and frankly, his life. And these 3 words have strengthened me, possessed me, and buoyed me throughout my journey in this business. Hustle, an immeasurable drive to be the best, to have missed just a handful of shows in nearly 30 years. The most important thing to me when I finally wrap all this up will be my work ethic. Loyalty, blind faith, sometimes to a fault. But I'll never ask for forgiveness. This company is where I grew into the man I am today. Respect. Treat everyone the same, no matter their position. And to spend countless years helping other announcers reach peak levels without once worrying about my spot. John Cena has meant everything to me. My career will be forever entwined with the greatest of all time, only because I was in the right place at the right time. I can't believe that later tonight will be the final time my longtime friend will step into a WWE ring. The final time I will say,
Hey! STF! 5-knuckle shuffle! 17-time world champion!
I apologize in advance because I will be biased tonight. I apologize in advance because I will be extremely emotional tonight. But I will ask for no acquittal when I scream at the top of my lungs, one final time. The greatest of all time, John Cena.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about the GOAT in the wrestling industry, it's all subjective, right? And no matter what anybody believes, I believe that John Cena is the greatest of all time. Tonight is going to be an emotional night, not only for me, not only for the talent back in the locker room, not only for all those behind the scenes who've been along this 23-plus year ride with John Cena, But for all of you, the 19,000 plus who showed up here tonight in Washington, D.C. for this event, the millions who are watching it at home globally to, well, watch the final match of the GOAT's career. It is going to be my honor, it is going to be my privilege to sit there in just a matter of moments with my great friend Wade Barrett, who of course has had a great rivalry with John Cena as well, and be able to call the final match of John Cena's life inside a WWE ring. All I simply want to do tonight before we get underway is say to John Cena, thank you. Well, the countdown to Saturday night's main event is presented by Cricket. Join Cricket Nation and get reliable nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. The countdown rolls on from D.C. Coming up next.
Hey, John, it's Kurt Angle. I personally want to congratulate you on an incredible career. You are legendary, my friend.
To get in the ring with John Cena is a privilege. Man, you got a friend for life.
Thank you for always giving your time to us. Thank you for answering every single question. It'll mean more than you'll ever know.
The utmost respect and love to John.
Thank you for always being true to who you are. You've always been a role model to me, a role model for everyone in this industry.
From my family to yours, I want to say we love you.
You are so much more than John Cena, the professional wrestler. You are a remarkable man, and I couldn't be more proud to know you. Thank you for everything.
I certainly wouldn't be back here if it wasn't for you. Contrary to popular belief, you've always inspired me to be back and be in your presence as you gracefully exit this wonderful circus of a business. As always, I'm just following your lead. Thank you, John.
Of course, everybody's got their videotape library. This is where I keep all my stuff. You always got to, keep track of footage, and you always got to try to get better. One of the ways you can get better in ring is watching stuff on tape, not only your own stuff, but guys you idolized, guys that you like now, guys that you liked in the past. There's so much stuff that I try to keep up on. There's so much wrestling out there, and you can learn from all of it. Even the stuff that's considered is not very good. You can learn why it wasn't good and what was wrong about it, or even take the small things that were good about it. I try to watch these as much as I can, and in the near future, actually, within the next week, I'm going to get a DVD rewritable drive so I can actually convert these to DVD. Best of Mysterio. This is unbelievable. This tape is this tape is off the grid. Ray does some unbelievable stuff. Dynamite Kid. This is a compilation of the Dynamite Kid. He pretty much revolutionized the business back in the mid '80s or the early '80s. History of the IC title. I like watching a lot of old NWA stuff. I have all the Clash of Champions, all the Great American Bashes. Best of Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask was another one that was great. They had their own style, and it was really creative, and it's fun to watch them work because they're so ahead of their time. This is probably one of my better tapes. I'm a big fan of Ted DiBiase. I'm also a big fan of Randy Savage, and I'm a big fan of Mr. Perfect. This is a 6-hour compilation of all of them. It's some real good stuff, some of the early Randy Savage stuff, some of the DiBiase stuff when he was in Mid-South, and some of Mr. Perfect's best stuff with it. This is one that I watch over and over again. I always liked these guys growing up. I thought DiBiase was great. At the time when I was growing up, he wasn't so great because he was going against Hulk, and of course I was a Hulkamaniac. But now that I look back and I watch it, I realize that he was really good, and especially his earlier stuff that I didn't get to see as a kid. Watching it back now is out of control. Somewhere in here is my WrestleMania 3 tape, which is the best tape ever because I think that is by far the best pay-per-view ever. That was spectacular as a kid. That sticks out in my mind. All those people in the Silver Dome, and they were going to the ring in the little ring carts. There's so much knowledge in here, and I just don't want it to go neglected, and I know that there's so much more than this out there, and I try to get my hands on whatever I can, and I try to get it from any source that I can. I spend half my money on boots and half my money on tapes.
You can't really have a WrestleMania without John Cena.
against the biggest name, arguably, there's been in the last 20 years in the business.
He's kind of transcended decades and generations of wrestlers.
John Cena is here!
John made himself a staple of WrestleMania.
Going to the ring is everything. Interaction with boldness.
John Cena's legacy grows!
John, he loves the business so much. He is such a fan of the business. He's always trying to improve, even though he is the greatest of all time.
John Cena is going to appear at WrestleMania, and this audience is going to remind him and remind you how special John Cena is to us.
One of one. Only one person would be able to do that. He's John Cena.
Well, we are just over 30 minutes away from the final match in the career of John Cena here inside Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. The fans are excited. I know you can be louder than that, because as the clock counts down to the final match of John Cena's career, this is the ramp that he will run down for the final time before sliding into that ring for his last match. It will mark the 726th televised match of John Cena's career. And for most of those matches, there was one man following him down this ramp and into that ring, and we could not do a show on John Cena's career without hearing from cameraman Stu. So Stu, if you don't mind, can you join me over here so we can get your perspective on one John Cena? They love you, Stu. They were chanting you before I even said your name. Give it up for Stu, he deserves it. Listen, the WWE Universe has seen John Cena through your eyes for literal decades. So let me ask you this. What do you think separates John Cena from any other superstar? What makes him special?
Well, he's a good man. I mean, he is good from top to bottom all the way through. And that's a rarity. I mean, all the way through. I mean, you gotta love the man. He's thick with, I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, what can you say? You need actually to have, the guys on the headset, the guys in the truck are talking to me. It's a little rough to listen to both. If they'd hush, I could answer your question.
You are on the clock, this is true. Is this emotional for you?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy emotional because John can do whatever he wants, and he's going to do something great. And he did something great here. And all these people are here to see him, and he's the center of attention, as he should be. He's a good man.
Well said, Stu. Listen, I think it's time to get to work, so let's make our way up the ramp, because you put that headset back on and let those guys in the truck get back to talking to you. We are going to head up this ramp, though, because we have a very, very special guest joining us here in just a few moments. We could not talk about the career of John Cena without talking to one Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon, thank you for doing this. Listen, we're going to go this way, yes, and show off this crowd that is here to see John Cena.
Incredible crowd that's here tonight.
Stephanie, we have been talking all year long, all week long, about the unbelievable career of one John Cena. You have seen it from the very beginning until now. And you've seen a lot of special people come in and out of WWE. What makes John Cena special?
Oh my God, a million things make John Cena special. And I'm so privileged and honored to be here tonight, as I think everybody here is going to be witnessing such a remarkable piece of history and a tribute to someone who's truly given everything that he has for all of this time. And for me personally, it's the first time that I've ever been around for someone's entire career. From the very beginning when I heard him rap, and as John gives me credit for allowing him to try that on TV, I mean, to now, to be here for his final match, his last match ever, it's kind of hard to fathom. But you know, John Cena, everybody knows him as the GOAT. They know him as the Never Seen 17. They know him as a true hero. But John Cena is an even bigger hero outside of the ring. He has granted more wishes for kids at the Make-A-Wish Foundation who are fighting critical illness than any other athlete, entertainer, superstar, musician, you name it. He is a remarkable human being with a huge, giant heart. And if you've never heard that before, well, you'll have the opportunity to see it yourself. Let's take a look.
Icon.
You want some? Come get some!
Champion.
John Cena is a 17-time world champion!
Cheered by millions. But maybe John Cena's greatest achievements have come with an audience of one. One wish at a time.
You can't see me.
Can we take a picture together?
Yeah. Of course.
Cool. There's someone fighting some circumstances, and the one thing they'd like to do is hang out with you. Do you have time for that? 100%, we're gonna do that.
You're winning, man.
He's a natural, what can I say?
John Cena has granted more than 650 wishes for wish children.
So I was in the neighborhood, and I heard about this hero, this true champion who always fights and never gives up, and I really wanted the chance to meet you in person.
His courage and his resilience and his positivity are true motivators for so many of our wish kids.
Perfect.
To understand the power of a family's wish, start with a family like Jesus Lucero's.
Turn around. There you go.
He has a rare form of epilepsy. It's called Lennox-Gastaut. It affects everything. He can't hang out with kids his own age. Mentally, he's more like about 4 or 5-year-old.
From the start, Jesus's epilepsy has shaped every day through life's uncertainty.
Knowing that I could lose him to the seizures, it scares me. And I have to live with that every day. And it makes it hard. It makes it hard.
One break from the challenge came from watching Jesus's favorite wrestler.
What's his name?
John Cena.
John Cena, that's right. He just lights up when he sees John Cena. It makes me happy because he's so happy. And that's all I want for him, is for him to be happy.
When Jesus was asked for a wish, his answer was immediate. And it was granted at the Royal Rumble last February.
Some good energy here, but I don't get what else you said. It's the Royal Rumble.
He just walked in and just started talking to you like he knew you forever.
Right, yeah, that's him right there, look. He's right there.
I can't see.
Yeah, that's your guy right there.
He actually invested time in the kids. And that's what made it special.
Not bad, right?
From an unforgettable meeting to a young man Cena never got to meet, but moved just as deeply.
I kidding me. I don't know how to do it.
Peter Mujia was born in 2001 with spina bifida, a condition that placed him in a wheelchair throughout his life.
His spirit was there. His spirit didn't change. He was saying, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting. What was keeping him going is the entertainment from John. It was all about Cena.
Cena was a constant in Peter's life, even when Peter's heart stopped during an emergency procedure in 2017. He'd spend nearly the next 6 years in a hospital room surrounded by all things Cena. And during COVID, while John was unable to see Peter in person, he still granted a wish.
Hey, Peter, 16-time WWE champ John Cena here with a few important messages.
You could see from his face, he was so happy, like everything just changed. It was such a beautiful video.
Your family has told me that you have some tough days and you handle them exactly like a champ. And that's really admirable. I think the phrase never give up has gotten me through a lot of tough places in life. And even when my back's against the wall, those 3 words keep me pushing forward.
Over and over, the voice and the words that John Cena shared with him, and the strength he saw in John Cena, that strength of not giving up. Keep fighting.
In 2023, Peter's fight ended. He was 22 years old, but the feeling of his family endures.
I wish it's a gift, like you never expected. Something brings joy to you, something that brings strength to you. You created joy in his life that we'll never forget. I salute you, John.
The simple granting of a wish can give hope, can give strength, motivation. Something that may only be for a moment, but it lasts much, much longer than that.
For an audience of one, John Cena is forever. One family, one moment, one wish at a time.
We're about to, I'm a little confused on it. So well done by award-winning journalist Tom Rinaldi. Folks, we are only 21 minutes away now from the last time is now. Joe Tessitore and the crews, we've made our way inside Capital One Arena. I will share with that, coming off that story, that on a personal note, we have a dear friend who was one of those Make-A-Wish children, and he wanted to meet John Cena as a young boy. He did, and it gave him the fight that he needed. That young boy overcame a rare genetic life-threatening disease. Last month, he was at Madison Square Garden as a full, healthy man to see John Cena in his goodbye. This arena is absolutely decked out to celebrate John Cena, ready for the challenge. One last match against the tough, determined Warrior. More and more legends are arriving. Booker T is here on a night when Cena wants to see NXT stars get their spotlight. Well, there's Booker T, who takes so much pride himself as a coach and a broadcaster at NXT. And Rob Van Dam is here in Washington, D.C. RVD's history with Cena goes back to 2006. Cashed in on his Money in the Bank briefcase against Cena to become a double champion. As we continue getting ready for the last time is now, John Cena's final match. Joe Tessitore, Big E, and Jesse the Body Ventura, the original broadcaster of Saturday night's main event. You watch that great piece there with John Cena and you think about everything he's accomplished. In the end, what will be John Cena's lasting legacy?
Well, Mean Joe, it's this. It's this. John Cena was the face of the WWE since really the turn of the century. Now, I say this with everything. To be on top in this business for 5 years is an exceptional feat. He has done it nearly 20 to 25 years. That's unheard of, that he would be the face and the man in the World Wrestling entertainment world. And so John Cena deserves everything he gets tonight. He earned it. And I'll say this, goody for him, because some of us didn't get a last match, did we?
You got one more in you, Jesse? We could get you out there real quick.
Let me think about it.
Hey, Big E, there are so many directions we could go here when it comes to the legacy of John Cena. Hustle, loyalty, and respect, and how that became a cultural phenomenon. Everything he did in becoming a mainstream icon, or simply this, the record-breaking championship status. He's the only one with 17.
No, he stands alone there. Look, I think when I think about John Cena's legacy, I think about his impact on this generation of children. So many who are inspired to not give up. So many who are inspired to fight. I've seen so many Cena shirts over the decades. Those Cena kids who grew up to be Cena adults and who used those lessons from John Cena as they grew up in their adult years to work hard, to stay consistent, all those things. I truly think he inspired so many people.
He did, but
yes.
you got to remember one other thing.
What's that?
If he won it 17 times, that means he
lost it 17 times. I know, Jesse. I know.
We were in the middle of a conversation outside before we came inside, and I didn't give you a chance to finish up, and that is strictly the matchup with Gunther. We heard what Sammy had to say, but when you dig into this matchup deeper, how do you see it?
I see this one as a brutal one. We all would love to see John Cena go out with a big win, but I don't think he gets it here tonight. I think Gunther is a marauder. I think he's focused. I don't like it either. I don't want to see it either. But I think Gunther in John Cena's final match, I think he makes John Cena tap out.
Wow. Jesse, you agree with that?
I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. I will agree with that, and I will like it.
We're
I'll
16 minutes away from the last time being now John Cena's final match as we continue visiting with Sam and Megan. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, guys. We're back here with The Miz on John Cena's last night. Miz, as much as your career has been connected with John Cena's and John Cena's with yours.
Has it? Has it? Because I seem to forget, because on your podcast, you don't talk about it. The internet doesn't talk about it. They didn't yearn for me to have one last match, one final match with John Cena, but they tweeted about AJ and gave him that match. They didn't give me that match. They're acting like the end of this book, I was in a valuable chapter, a main character. You're acting like the end of this era, I wasn't part of the beginning, middle, and every single part that mattered. I went into catering, and they were giving cappuccinos with people's faces on it. I said, can I have mine? They said, we're only doing people that have matches tonight. Matches tonight. I should be a valuable part of this show. I hate you.
That was a terrible question. You ruined it. Byron, we'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Megan, Sam. I had the distinction of talking to you, CM Punk, and the reason why I call this a distinction because you've been part of almost every machination of John Cena's career. You were there at WrestleMania 22 as a mobster extra during Cena's entrance. You two had one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history, and then most recently, you faced John Cena during his retirement tour. How wild is it for you to know that this is the final night John Cena will step inside that ring?
I don't think I have the words or the time at the moment to fully encapsulate an answer that would satisfy the question that you asked. All I know is they often say you don't know what you got until it's gone. But in this case, because John prepped us and he announced his retirement, I think what it's done is created this cathartic situation where us as fans got to say goodbye to him in our own way at our own pace. And tonight's the night. This is it. John's a man of his word. When he leaves the ring tonight, it's the last time you're going to see him in his wrestling shoes. I just want to be able to thank him in person. I wouldn't have missed tonight for the world, no matter how busy I was. It's important as fans and as luminaries in this wrestling business to let him know what he has done, what he has meant to everybody, and what he leaves behind. Because often, as you know, in this business, legends are taken from us overnight. We don't properly get to say goodbye or pay our respects. This is 2014 Derek Jeter, captain of the Yankees, retiring. This is Chicago Blackhawks captain Jonathan Toews playing his last game. I'm proud to have been a small part of John Cena's career and his story, and very proud to have played on his wing on the first line and I get to tell him in person and tell him I love him, give him a hug, and I'm proud of the WWE fans that are here tonight to say goodbye to him. It's going to be a hell of a night.
Well, Punk, we can't thank you enough for being here, and please enjoy the night. Enjoy the celebration for the greatest of all time.
That final salute from CM Punk. There's the clock. We're coming up on just 12 minutes away. 23+ years of so many great rivalries, including one that carried into this past year.
John Cena, Randy Orton has become the rivalry.
They helped each other. We're the same age, coming in together, and really compete with each other.
Good versus evil. That's the art of what we do.
Every match we had was a different style of match.
Both of those guys wanted to be the biggest superstar in this business.
I quit!
It was very clear that they had that chemistry.
I knew I was lucky to be in the ring with the guy. When the audience is going and that energy level is at like a 100, it's almost like you can do no wrong because you got him right in the palm of your hands.
When I think of two icons in WWE, it'd be Randy Orton and John Cena.
Those two guys are pretty much cut from the same cloth.
It was really some of the most fun I've ever had in my career.
John Cena, you made me believe in superheroes as a kid. You know, I grew up watching you. You're the GOAT, man. Thank you.
You're my #1 guy, always and forever. You can see me.
Hey, John, we're gonna miss you. I came from Egypt for this event. We love you. We're gonna miss you.
Okay, John, my friend. You don't know it, but you are a father to me. You saved my life. Thank you very much.
John, you're a legend, mate. You've made a massive legacy here in the WWE. So much respect for you, mate. You made a difference in my life. You made a difference in so many people's lives. Wishing you all the best, man, and hopefully I see you in more movies. You're a legend. Take care.
I've still got this, and I've always kept this with me ever since I was 5 years old. No, I'm 29 now. I love you, John. Thank you for everything you've done.
Hi, my name is Evelyn. I flew all the way from California just so I could come see John Cena's last time in his hometown because he just means the world to me. He's been my favorite wrestler since I was, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cry, since I was 5 years old. When people were saying, like, boo John Cena, I was always, let's go John Cena. He's always been my favorite. He means so much to me, and I'm just very happy to be here.
Well, Jonathan, it's me. And here's the jersey, here's the jorts. Giving it all we got. Jonathan, welcome home, baby. Welcome home, Jonathan. We got TD Garden, and we're ready to give you your flowers for the whole garden.
Cena obviously has a huge importance in my life. Obviously grew up, he was kind of my superhero. The never give up message, something that always sticks with me. And growing up without a father too, took so many life lessons from watching John Cena on the TV every week.
And you always say never give up, and I really have never given up.
I know you're going to retire happily because, well, you're the best I've ever known. Bye. You're the best wrestler ever.
Hey, John, congratulations on an incredible career. You've impacted the lives of so many people inside the ring and outside the ring.
It's time to skip leg day for once and celebrate with half a Skittle. I know you're going to go on to do many incredible things, and I just want to say, may the jorts be with you, always.
Let's go, Cena! Cena sucks!
What, you got a problem with John Cena?
Say Cena's your daddy! Cena's my daddy!
That's what I thought.
I appreciate watching you for the last 20+ years, man. You've been an icon to all of us.
You feel it, and I felt it since the beginning, so thank you.
My kid can't even say John Cena, but can definitely do this. You transcend through generations, and you will be so missed.
John Cena, the legendary Never Seen 17. Man, thank you for all these years. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for being the role model that we all needed. You deserve this, brother. Congratulations. Happy retirement.
Good luck in your last match. I hope you fare better in yours than I did in mine.
John Cena is behind that door. He's making his final preparations. Let's show you what the card is tonight, folks, because it is a spectacular showing the way Cena wanted it. The first time the NXT champion goes one-on-one with the reigning undisputed champion. Rhodes versus Obafemi. Then we have Bayley against Sol Ruca. Of course, Sol Ruca, a rising star. We have tag team action. Phenomenal Lee, the champs, against Javon Evans and Leon Slater. And then it is the main event. John Cena, the last time against Gunther, the final match in the greatest career of all time. He wanted this past year to be special. 36 appearances, that was it. This was quality over quantity. As for how all of us viewed it, what do you say we get your opinions? A little rapid fire style with everybody around the horn. Peter, I'll start with you. Your favorite Cena match of the year?
It has to be Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. We finally got the classic moves from John Cena. It felt so good.
Biggie, what do you got?
It's the AJ Styles match. I love the callbacks. I love the odes to all the guys that John Cena's wrestled over the years.
Sam, what say you?
And history-making championship win. Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series.
Megan, your favorite match was?
To me, it's Randy Orton in Randy's hometown of St. Louis. And to put a little icing on the cake, R-Truth returns at the end of that match.
Jackie Redmond, what was your favorite Cena match of the year?
Oh, Tess, I'm going AJ Styles. Everybody backstage was popping every time he paid homage to somebody. We were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
What say you, Byron?
The unexpected United States Open Challenge match between Sami Zayn, John Cena. Unsurprisingly so, it was a barn burner.
I loved AJ Styles down in Australia. Cena's moment of the year, Peter.
The moment of the year for me, it had to be Logan Paul. That crowd was unbelievable in France. Just a transcendent moment with a star of the next generation. I loved it.
Man, I am partial to those little kids coming out in those yellow shirts at WrestlePalooza. It really touched my heart. I love that entrance.
All right, Sam, your moment of the year from John Cena was?
When we got our hero back, John Cena coming back on the SmackDown before SummerSlam and finding his senses again.
Megan.
All the WWE fans wanted to see the moment of John Cena and AJ Styles, but during the match against Logan Paul, when John Cena hit the Styles Clash, the crowd and the internet went wild.
Jackie and Byron, your Cena moment of the year.
Oh, aside from winning that 17th title, I'm going when he recreated the CM Punk pipe bomb promo. That was so electric. I loved every second.
I'm going to piggyback my man Sam at SummerSlam. The black and white John Cena logo flashes on the screen, and then bam, we get the colors, we get the excitement, and the lucid nightmare was over. Thank you, John.
The reason we celebrate John Cena tonight, we're going to take this home here, no more of the rapid fire, is because of the connection to the fans. Remember that tonight as you absorb it all. Feel that energy tonight. Feel that passion, the gratitude, and the authenticity. A historic Saturday night's main event set to come your way. Right after we honor America with the national anthem sung by our very own Lillian Garcia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthem by WWE's own Lillian Garcia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes
the land of the free. And the home of the
My name is John Cena. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town in West Newbury. And I'm living the dream.
The champ is my time is now. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now.